I'm Anna.
I'm Ben.
We are AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we're watching Steins Gate
Zero.
Episode 7. This is too similar. It's too eerie from one of the most devastating moments of the entire Steins Gate series. What's to come? I am pretty confident. You know what? No, I'm confident nothing bad will happen. Somebody's going to come save the day, or nobody's going to die, because there's no way to undo that right now.
And I understand where you're coming from with those feelings that, well,
Optimism.
we don't have the phone microwave. We can't undo any possible deaths that might happen here. So then no deaths will happen here. That would make sense. Nobody dies. Happy.
Ready?
Yeah.
Sweet. See, if anything bad was going to happen, it already would have happened. Yeah. It's part of the party.
Moeka? What if it's not Moeka and it's the other professor? No, that's why the helmet.
You think it's Judy?
Yeah. Come on, keeping the helmet on? If it was Moeka, she would have just come in as Moeka.
K6205. Secured. Oh! Let's go, Mr. Braun! Woo!
More reason it's not Moeka, maybe?
Yes, Suzuha! Lucky block. Oh my god, Mr. Braun! Oh my god! Whew. Oh my god.
Who knew he was just waiting there?
In my mind, once the TV broke, Mr. Braun had like a sixth sense. Because he loves them so much that he immediately ran upstairs. Seemed like it. How?
He would have not let his daughter be there.
That's true. Weird.
I get the feeling. I could understand him feeling that way. Probably.
As long as she's around, right?
Is the only way to go with Suzuha? Is that the only way?
That was kind of the vibe I was getting from Daru, right?
Professor's gone. Amadeus connection.
It's wild to me that Amadeus is still unconnected. Connection refused. I wonder if that's a translation thing or if it is somebody refusing it, you know?
Like access denied, you mean?
Yeah.
Did Suzuha set those up?
Maybe?
Oh, please be okay, Suzuha. Please be okay.
It's very smart to have Suzuha next to Kaguri.
She was supposed to protect Kaguri.
Hungry.
聞いてもいいですか？鈴葉さんはどうして岡部さんのことオカリンおじさんって呼ぶんですか？どうしてまゆりちゃんのことまゆ姉さんって呼ぶんですか？僕のこと
Not so
ルカ
discreet.
兄さんって呼ぶんですか？寝つく前別の名前を一度だけ言っていたんです。まゆりママって。岡部さんもまゆりちゃんもずっと辛そうで。
Always look
橋
so
田さん
hurt.
もフェリスさんもみんな何か隠していて、確かに僕じゃ役に立てないかもしれない。僕だって同じ悩みを共有したい。ルカ兄さん、オカリンおじさんがさ、ルカ兄さんにだけ話さない理由、なんとなくわかる気がするんだ。ルカ兄さんにだけは純粋にこの世界の人間でいてほしい。多分救いなんだ。救い。ああ、そんな風に言われたら。
I definitely did not expect the direction they're taking with Ruka.
やっと来やがったか。で、昨日のあれは一体なんだ？
考え通りならいけるはずだ。はあなたの差し金じゃないですね。
あ？どういう意味だ？
ミスター・フェルディナント・ブラウン。それとも FB と呼んだ方がいいですか？
どうしたの、お父さん。急に怖い感じしたから。
お父さんはいつも通りだぞ。いい子だから外でヘッドホン使って音出して。
Wouldn't even let her go outside. I think he
Yeah.
like second guessed it.
Mm-hmm.
やはり知られたくはないですよね。昨日俺たちを襲ったライダースーツの女。あれはあなたの部下の桐生萌。つまりあれはラウンダーではない。別の。
聞いといてやるが、おめえのそれはどっからのネタだ？
どうせ信じません。
いいから聞かせろや。そのくらいの覚悟は決めてきたって顔だぜ。
I cannot believe this is happening.
This is crazy.
それがオカリンさんがちょっと待ってくれ。拳銃持ってたんでしょ？事情は聞いて。
She wasn't there.
行くって。
Is that too convenient? She wasn't there. She's the only one that wasn't there, other than the friends leaving for the store.
フラグ。いえ。
No
私も
way.
行ければよかったんだけどのその腕。
What happened to your arm? Oh no!
絡んじゃって。
What?
に世界線ね。
Where Suzuha kicked her?
信じられるは。俺に関してはその通りさ。おめえの話はほぼ完璧。
保持が絶対だということは知っています。これは任務とは関係ない。機密だって漏洩したわけじゃない。俺が最初から知っていただけだ。だから処分の対象にはならないはずだ。
だが間違っちゃいない。
But you're not wrong.
自分からは何も言われてねえ。俺がラウンダーだってことをおめえが黙った話をぶちまけてきたってことはあるんだろ？
あなたに頼みがある。昨日狙われた女性を守ってほしい。
ちゃんは何になぜ狙われてる？
わかりません。
話になんねえな。ったことにしてやるから。
ダメだ。もしまた昨日のようなことがあったら娘さんはどうなる？また危険にさらされるかもしれ
ないを人質にするつもりか？殺すぞ。
協力しようと言ってるんです。娘さんを守りきれないかもしれない。
いやデメリットしかねえじゃねえか。
そんなことないよ。出せるものはある。
Suzuha, Mr. Braun!
おめえら
来てたのか。
バイトとしてここに置いてくれれば手間はかからないだろう。
おめえらがビルから出ていく方が手っ取り早えな。
襲った連中を目撃してるし、されてるかわからないわけないよね。
They're not gonna forget your face.
わからないけど、昨日みたいなことはが私を守るために無茶して怪我するのはもっと嫌なの。鈴葉お姉ちゃんたちと一緒がいいな。
ない。バイト代は一人分しか出せねえぞ。
In this world line, Suzuha never took care of Mr. Braun.
お父さん渋いね。
あ？文句があんなら家賃あげんぞこら。
ありがとうございます、天王寺さん。
それより岡部、連中が何者か突き止めろ。
Whew.
対策の打ちようが。
I love this. I love that,
This is
that,
crazy.
that there's like actual and open line of communication and awareness from all parties involved now.
Daru needs to charm the pants off his future wife and fast.
どうするんです？狙われてるんですよね。と店長さんなら頼りになるね。
連中が何者なのか。
I would even trust Moeka, honestly. She could fight.
ま、それは僕の仕事かな。
見回りを強化してもらうよ。
Nice.
だからできないはずにゃん。僕にも何か手伝えることはあり、岡部さんの力にもなれないなんて。ユシもできることないかな。
アリさんを自宅でかくまってくれてるだろう。いろいろと助けられてる。
うちにできることか。
And who's not there?
K6205
そう K6 型はフォネティックコードだ。軍隊用語だよ。それも西側の
By the Western world!
Ooh, the foreigners.
商品番号とかしか
ヘル番号とかは
なんぞ
につけられた番号のことなんです
Whoa.
関係なかったかな
But you're opening up some like creative thinking, and I like that. Amadeus. No, no, no. Stop.
じゃなくてすごい合ってるリー・メイソンの競技やシンボルが持ちアマデウスに繋がらない
調子俺だ
岡部さんまた何かあったの
アマデウスはあの後どうなっている
ダメしかしたらだけれど誰かに乗っ取られたのかもとりあえず今切るわよまた後でおかり
No way.
What?
お願い助けて
リーディングしたいな
What?
Seems like there could be an after credit, right?
Well, then we are waiting. Reading stuff. No one's there.
アマデウスが
What?
世界線が変わった誰か
Is Kurisu back there? Is Mayuri alive? What the hell is happening? Oh my god!
クリス
Okay, that was Steins Gate Zero, Season 1, Episode 7. The changing of world lines and what triggers it is very confusing to me at the moment.
Yeah.
It seems like in between Episode 3 and 4, there was like a weird moment of Okabe and Maho on the roof, and then at the start of Episode 4, we got to see a scene where Okabe was like talking to a military general when his phone rang.
And we're seeing the future, basically, is what it almost looked like seeing the war-torn future.
But the thing that's the same is the phone call there, right? Like, it seemed like in that, I believe the phone, we couldn't see who was calling, but in this case, it was Amadeus. It's almost like if that was, like, could we interpret, like, or theorize crazily that maybe every time Amadeus gets to into a certain group's hands and makes a call like that, somehow it changes world lines? Because here, like, what the hell?
Something had to have majorly, dramatically shifted the future without even a time machine, maybe. Maybe they were using Amadeus to build one. I mean, Kurisu definitely had a giant impact on the actual building of the phone microwave and everything.
I mean, it was her research papers, right?
And her research papers that are what created the war. Her father stole them. Her mind is what was wanted and what was necessary. I mean, when that attack that was replicated at the beginning of this episode happened in Steins Gate, they were wanting her.
Yeah.
They were there to get her, to take her.
Yeah.
Maybe it's I don't know. We get this idea of like, are some things fated in this world? And maybe this was going against fate, that someone made a choice that went against what they would have normally done here, and that's how things were shifted or things were changed, or someone else has capabilities to change them. We've been wondering since the beginning of Steins Gate Zero if we were going to be seeing the creation of the video that was sent to Okabe in season 1. How we start the season 1, episode 1 off with that video. We were wondering if here is where we see the story of how that Okabe came to make that video and send it to his past self.
Yeah.
And now we have transferred to a world line where we have the phone microwave, where yes, Kurisu's alive, but Okabe needs to make sure that even that Okabe in that world line goes back and saves Kurisu. It's like he needs to make sure that she is always saved, because if Amadeus exists, that can't be good.
In terms of like a going forward story-wise, I have nothing. If the world line change didn't happen, I have everything. The fact that we are face to face with Makise Kurisu right now has me absolutely flabbergasted.
Well, yeah, I have no clue where you go from here other than trying to send yourself a video, because is Mayuri alive right now? That's a really great question, because we were at a lot of world lines where technically by now, it's been like a year later, she should not be alive right now.
Yeah.
Where is Suzuha? What's Suzuha's situation? Oh my gosh, there's so many questions. Mr. Braun, Moeka. Does this mean that where is Maho back in America? Because are they still doing the AI? I mean, they must be, because that was research that Kurisu was working on before coming here. So we know, well, shit, we know that her brain was already uploaded.
Yeah.
So in any world line, when Suzuha's is scared of her, calls her like the mother of the time machine, she could be the mother of it, dead or alive, because she uploaded her brain to Amadeus.
And if Amadeus identifies themselves as Makise Kurisu and has the spinning image, I get where you're going with that. Like, you'd never know the difference potentially, right?
Yeah.
Dude, okay. So a couple of questions. I'm going to start with, I feel like, one of the least consequential questions, but something that's bugging the shit out of me. Why does Ruka say Elsai Kongri?
Oh, instead of Kongru?
Yeah.
Either...
Is that like a world line shift, or is that to like let us know something's awry, and even in that sense? Because like it seems out of... It seems like something that wouldn't make sense to be like letting us in on something because of the other character route. It seems like they're taking Ruka in terms of how Okabe is treating her and looking at her in the situation. It seems like it'd be weird that they'd add another thing in, being like, oh, you don't pronounce Elsai Kungro correctly, you know, like as like a red flag potentially. That doesn't seem realistic to me. So I feel
like I might be having a Mandela effect of like a conversation where someone said it wrong and he was like, nice try, it's Elsai Kongru, and it might have been Ruka, but I could totally be imagining that and coming up with it in my brain with my imagination.
It was just like, I don't know, man. It was like such like a weird feeling to me when she said that, you know? Oh, okay. I was trying
when he said that.
When he said that. I was trying to pull it up.
I know we switched world lines and Ruka's a little bit different in them. Who knows Ruka in this world line we're now in?
It sounds to me as it is voice acted like it is spelled Kongari, like Gree, and that's even freakier to me. Right?
See, I'm not on board with the freaky because I'm convincing myself that I have heard a character pronounce it wrong and Okabe correct them. But like I said, imagination is a powerful thing.
Number 2, another thing that I want to bring up. The fact that Amane is being hinted as the character who is being kicked by Suzuha.
So, after last episode, so before the one we just watched, I wrote on a sticky note on my desk, and I forgot about it until mid-reaction, mid-watching this episode, to bring her up, and the fact that she was like, oh no, I gotta go to work, and was the only one not there, and I thought that was weird. And so I wrote it down on a sticky note to bring up to you when we sat down to watch, you know, the next episode, and I completely forgot about it. I don't know what happened to that sticky note, but it is not sticking anywhere.
I would have chalked it up to be like, oh, of course she can't be involved with this if her and Daru end up together on either side.
That's not necessarily true.
Obviously. Like, what does this mean?
People can decide, people can flip, people can, but also, if we think about where we meet her, even though they look different in Steins Gate to Steins Gate 0, I still hold on to that, like, language in the, like, was it an OVA?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still hold true to that language in the OVA that was, like, supposed to be Suzuha's mom.
They're different people, though.
They look different, but I am holding that. I'm thinking maybe we just drew them different. Is what I'm holding on to, because the language in the OVA was so clearly pointing at the fact that this was Suzuha's mom.
I know.
So I can't drop it.
But
I can't leave that thought.
We don't know when the dates were made, right? Because imagine if you write and produce Steins Gate, it's finished, you decide to do an OVA, for fun you hint at Suzuha's mom extremely directly, and then Steins Gate 0 is made, and technically it wouldn't be retconning the OVA if the OVA wasn't specifically considered canon to the original 25 episodes.
Yeah, okay.
So, like, I don't know,
where was she? She was willingly traveling to America for different cons and different events. So, does not... but what about Professor? We know that the professors are missing. Maho doesn't know where they are. Are they kidnapped right now? Are they under lockdown? Are they a part of this? Am I just getting these red flags for Suzuha's mom for no reason, and she really did fall, and we're subverting expectations here? But I don't know. After watching last episode, I found it suspicious enough to want to bring attention to it, and then forgetting to bring attention to it.
Gotcha. One of my favorite moments this episode was, like, what about, I'm gonna butcher it, koshal numbering, and it being, like, a route that we get to that it's like, oh, Amadeus Mozart. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Like,
and then, like, how long it took, like, I don't know what it was happening with the subtitles, because they literally said, like, the middle name Amadeus, and then 3 dialogue lines later, Okabe goes, Amadeus, so I was like, is there a delay there? Is there a translation thing? Like, what's happening? Why is there a delay for him? Like, is it just because no, someone says it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, what's with the delay for Okabe on his end of, like, hearing that word, He's
coming to the realization while people are talking, I think.
Yeah, I think I just was surprised that it took any amount of, like, thinking on his end, and not just an immediate, that's weird.
I can't believe it. It tells me that it...
What does it tell you?
I wonder, Maho's innocent, right?
Maho's innocent.
I was gonna go down, like, it tells me, obviously, like, it's confirmation of how Western it is, right? The origin of the group that attacked us. And that going along with Maho is like, okay, Maho, I think Maho's in the clear in all circumstances. I don't think she's involved in the slightest in, like, any understanding of what this group's motive or intentions really are. And I also imagine that Kaguri's been in America for the past how long?
When did Kaguri show up in the same episode that Professor Reyes showed up, or before?
I think the same episode.
They were, obviously very close together, but that makes me wonder, like, as soon as she landed in Japan, do you think she got... imagine this. You're caught by someone, you're taken to somewhere else.
Judy was brought up in episode 5. I believe that Kaguri was episode 6 or the end of episode 5.
So what I'm thinking is, like, either lost memory in whatever happened to her in America, or if she was taken to America, whatever happened to her in this time period she's been gone, or the shock upon returning to familiar ground, like being brought back to Japan, like maybe purposefully brought back to Japan for some reason, and the shock of being back here in a familiar but doesn't know why way.
How do you figure out Kaguri's from the future? Like, if
I know, except we talked about it before, that it would have to be someone who had knowledge that they were already planning or using Kurisu's likeness for something.
Yeah. which is weird. Dude, I am so happy Mr. Braun is like involved now. Watching him take down like 5 armed men barehanded was one of the most like masculine things I've ever seen in my life. And I loved, I never thought we'd go down a route in this series that we'd like be like, oh, I know you're a rounder at all. And like have that progress to basically being a bodyguard for us now.
I find it so much more, as a viewer, I find it so much more satisfying and compelling that we don't absolve Moeka and Mr. Braun of what job they do and what they're a part of.
Agreed.
But since there's common ground, we're able to have some type of relationship with those characters where they're not trying to kill us. And I really like that kind of like allyship, but like friends close, enemies closer. Like they're mutually beneficial relationship. We're not absolving Moeka or Mr. Braun of whatever bad they have done in a different world line or could possibly do in this world line that we're in.
Yeah.
But that they're still able to be a part of the conversation, a part of the episode in the story in a way that is not just them being the prime villain. It's kind of like, I don't know why this is in my brain, but it's kind of like if Ash and like Team Rocket had to like partner up for something against some other greater villain.
To me, it's like if Ash from the future was sent back into Ash at the start of his journey on his first encounter with Team Rocket inside the Pokemon Center, brought up Jesse and James's individual pasts that he somehow knows and uses that then to team up with them.
I mean, James's past made me cry, so...
Growly!
Oh, no.
You know? Spoilers, fuck, I'm sorry.
Shit.
I'm usually better at that.
Pokemon spoilers, we're so sorry.
Oh, damn. But, I feel like it was pretty vague, though. I don't know. But okay, I was about to say, I wonder where we're going from here. I want to try, just like, to entertain the idea of what the fuck is happening next with the Makise Kurisu. Like, if we're changing world lines, we aren't time traveling. In my mind, if we're changing world lines, we're at the same point as we are now, just in a different world line, right? If that's the case...
Then Mayuri's dead!
And we still are wearing black? You know? Like...
We're in mourning. I mean, think about how he handled mourning and grieving Kurisu. He could also have handled Mayuri's death in a similar way.
That's what I guess I'm assuming. Like, so if Mayuri does die, right? Even with Kurisu around... Okabe quits the lab?
It's possible. Feeling like he couldn't save her, wouldn't he want to quit?
Yeah.
If he finally realized he couldn't save her, he'd be like, what's the point? But also, no wonder Kaguri wouldn't come... Kaguri could still exist in the future, but how would she link up with Mayuri and come with Suzuha if Mayuri's dead?
I'm not gonna lie. There's part of me that feels like, oh, anxious, is there going to be somehow bad blood in this world line between the two? But a huge part of me finds comfort in having Kurisu here. Kurisu is such a big part in not only Okabe's, but my, like, comforted understanding and optimism towards the second half of Steins Gate. Once she got involved.
Was involved.
Yeah, and, like, she did such a good job at, like, understanding and exactly what was going on fresh off the bat, and was able to try to help to the best of her abilities. And I love having that in the show.
And I love those moments where she was like, and if I don't remember, say these things to me, I'm sure I'll believe you, kind of thing. And that she's such a help to Okabe in Steins Gate, especially when he lets her in and he opens up to her, that honestly, I never would have expected what is... okay. Another sign that Mayuri's dead, the hourglass is tipped over still, even though it's probably been a year.
I'm trying to see if I can gauge anything of what the office looks like other than it not looking like Daru or Okabe's extravagant things are present. We can see Daru's computer, of course, but like it looks a little cleaner, you know, and Amadeus is obviously gone. How do we get back, you know? Is Maho still here? Like, is the idea of Amadeus still in practice if Kurisu's... I wouldn't think so, unless Amadeus was somebody who wasn't Kurisu in this world line, you know?
Why would you say that? Why would you say it wouldn't be Kurisu?
Because Kurisu's alive.
But they still have her brain. And all of her data.
And
her memories.
But part of me has trouble believing that that Kurisu would be okay with using her likeness as an AI if she was still alive.
She wouldn't know. I mean, she agreed to downloading her data back when she was in America. She said yes to that. She okayed that decision. She didn't know she was going to die a couple months later or weeks later. And so that means that data, her memory, still exists with her professors. Maho still has access to that. They might not have Amadeus in the same place that they have it where they did right before we switched world lines, which was like, it was Kurisu's likeness, but they still have the data.
Ruka. He's cool.
Ruka is cool. I wonder if Ruka wants to be pivotal. Ruka wants to help.
Helpful.
And I'm like, are we about to see Ruka get like super involved? Because would they just give us lines like that with Suzuha about Ruka wanting to be a part of this? And
I don't think so.
Being like, Okabe's trying to protect you?
I think it has to go somewhere.
I think it has to go somewhere. I think Ruka's gonna come in and superhero save the day.
Maybe. All right, that's all I have you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.